My name is Robert, and this is Stacy, and we are here with episode 2.
Episode 2.
That's right, episode 2. We are following Stacy as she makes her journey getting off of Suboxone.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about some of the things and feelings and all that kind of stuff that goes on with that. And this last week was a big week for Stacy, and I'm not going to steal her thunder or anything, but I'm going to pass it over to her, and we're just going to check in, like, how was your week? Like, what happened this week?
I went and got on the Sublocade shot.
Okay, talk about that. What was...
So a couple months ago, I decided I was going to get off Suboxone. And the way I want to do that, instead of going cold turkey and being sick and not really getting off it, because I wouldn't do that. I'm too scared to go that way with it. I decided to get on the Sublocade shot, which is something that can take up to a year, but like the least you can do, like the least part, I guess, 6 months.
Okay.
Where it is a shot of the same kind of medicine, but it weans you down.
It's like a slow release where it just gives you a little bit of medicine each day or whatever.
Each day.
Okay.
So the initial talk with my doctor was, how do I view my life? What do I want with my life? And when I got home from prison, I was like, I need to get back on my Suboxones, and I need to get stable so that way I can start working recovery.
Sure.
And I think it might have been the second or third month, she said, what do you want for your future? I've been on these for a long time, and what are you thinking? And I'm like, I've really thought about getting off them for the last 5 years, and I'm not really sure what to do because I don't know how to do that without, first of all, being locked up. Detox is a bitch, excuse my language. So we started talking about the Sublocade shot. So that was when, like, the first thing was, like, planted in my head. And as I started working my recovery, I'm realizing this is what I want. I want to get off them, and if there's a way to do that, then I want to do that.
Sure.
Not that it would be easy, not that it's going to be like zero withdrawals or zero whatever. There's always those risks.
Yep.
So yeah, I decided last week I got the shot. I got it on Thursday, and I'm done taking the Suboxone. I threw my script away, and it has been a week.
How did you feel? What did the shot feel like? It's in your stomach, or?
Yeah, it's like right here.
Yep.
And when I went in there, the nurse that gave it to me, actually, we went to school together, and she just kind of looks at me and she goes, this is like super painful. And I looked at her, I'm like, oh, thanks. She's, I know you, and we've known each other a long time. And if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't say that to them, but I want you to know that I've had grown men like physically stand up or like almost swing on me. And I'm like, so it put that in my head, do I really want to do this? How painful is this? And by that time it was too late, you know what I mean? They had already ordered it, and I'm going through with this. Once I set my mind on something, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But she ended up being the person that administered the shot too, and she's like, just don't swing on me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sitting there.
Did she knew you could throw a punch?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just, don't swing on me. I'm gonna do this, and I'll do it as fast as I can. I'm sorry that it's gonna hurt. I'm like, okay. And we're sitting there, and she administered the shot. And it stung. I'm not gonna lie, it stung, but nothing you can't handle.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You get tattoos, if you sit down for tattoos for a long time, you can handle it.
Yep.
But she was done within 15 seconds. Like it was, and I looked at her, and she was standing up and walking. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Sure. Maybe it's good that she prepped you for it to be
And she
bad,
did, yes,
right?
it was, because I was expecting a lot
Sure.
worse. I'm thinking like labor pains and like worse.
Yeah.
But so the first day, I didn't really notice it. It wasn't until the next day that I did initially feel like that high, because it was a 300 milligram shot. And I think I told you last time I was going to see her twice this month, and we are not. We're going to do them once a month. Excuse me. So I wasn't prepared for feeling that feeling.
The woozy.
Yeah, the woozy.
Yeah. Okay.
The first day I had energy. I was fine. I definitely felt high though, because I knew it was all the medicine kicking in.
Yeah.
The second day was rough for me. I woke up and I didn't get much sleep that night, and I woke up and I had a super bad headache, and I just didn't feel well, and it felt like, too much.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to take a minute for the shot to
level out.
Yes, and for my body to be prepared for that. Like, it's going to take a minute for myself to feel okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole second day was rough. I took Excedrin, and I put a cold rag on my head, and I had to go to work. I had a rough week at work also. Then the third day, it started to level out. And I really didn't pay attention, but I never even tried to reach for my script the entire time, the actual physical Suboxone.
Sure.
So I think that might have been the easiest part for me, was knowing that I got the shot was like, I'm not reaching for that Suboxone anymore. It's not something that plan my day around or
Yeah.
stop my day and say, I have to take my Suboxone. And
Because you mentioned that the other day when we were
Yes.
talking, how you woke up in the morning
yeah,
and
it
you
would
were
feel
like,
sick.
hey, I didn't feel the need to, I got to take my medicine. It was just kind of, I'm good. I can start my day.
Yeah, there is a difference between now on the Sublocade shot. Like, I don't wake up in the mornings and like instantly have to take my med because I don't feel well. On the Suboxones, like I would wake up and that'd be the first thing I'd have to take because I felt withdrawal symptoms. I felt sick. I felt crappy and sluggish and didn't want to do anything. And sometimes I would wake up and I'd be like extremely hot or
Yeah.
hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
And I don't wake up like that now. That's
Okay.
so amazing. Like, I can wake up and be like, I'm ready to get in the shower. I'm ready to go outside with Luna. I'm ready to take on the day. I'm not worried about waking up and feeling like shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes, like I said, I would have to take my Suboxone twice a day, depending on, like,
Yeah.
I was weaning myself off of them. But when you do that, you also have, you also start to feel like shit quicker when you take a smaller dose. But this is way better. And this is only day 4 or 5, I think. 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, day 5. I do still have moments where I feel nauseous. And I'm not sure if it's like because I've eaten too much, because I've noticed like there'll be times like where I'm really hungry
Yeah.
and I'll eat a bunch and I'll get full and then I'll start to feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if that's just it's got to be the medicine leveling out.
Sure.
I can't drink a lot of fluids, make me nauseous.
Okay.
So I've slowed down on the amount of fountain pop I drink. I should drink more water maybe.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's going pretty good.
Okay.
I haven't noticed any differences like with my moods.
That's what I was just going to ask about, like outside of physical, like how is just emotional and mental and just dealing with things and stuff. I know you had a busy week this week, so.
It's been a busy and stressful and emotional week, but I think all in all, I've handled it pretty well.
Yep.
I think this next week, I'm going to try to focus more on that, like focus more on like how I'm feeling and how I'm processing things. It's just been a very eventful week for me.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to step back, take some me time,
Yeah.
and really go through this process and understand this process and realize what I feel, notice what I'm feeling, notice what I'm going through, and how I'm reacting to things. Because on Suboxone, I would react to things and get frustrated with things, and like especially with my dog or my mom or living at home. It's a very tight spot. I live with my parents, and I have a full-grown pit bull, and she's needy, and it's just so I will react to things like really quick. It's only been a few days, so I'm not real sure on that. You know where I'm at on that.
Yep.
But I feel like all in all, I'm doing better with that. I'm doing better with my emotions and dealing with some things. My uncle passed away Wednesday night, and
Right before you got your shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's been hard.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of death in my family and me specifically around me, so I'm learning how to handle it sober, but also process it now.
Yeah.
Not use it to fuel my addiction. So that's different for me. And I'm just excited to see how much of a change that I'm making in my life, not only with this Sublocade shot, but like the things that I can handle now and the things that I can go through now with a little bit more of a handle on my life and myself, getting to know myself. Then that's what the shot's going to give me also, is a chance to get to know myself without all that, without all the things have helped me along the way, absolutely. But there are, just like with depression medication, you go through something like a death. Let's say my brother was killed, and when he was killed, I went through severe depression and was put on depression meds. Now, yes, I was depressed, and the depression meds helped, but that's something that, like, you're not going to feel that depression forever, and that was only to get me through that depression. And I feel like that's how Suboxone and Sublocade should be. Like, okay, you're wanting to get sober, you're wanting to have a recovery life. Let's get you on something that's going to help you do that. And once you start managing your life and you're able to handle your emotions and handle your responsibilities and grow as a person, once you start realizing that you're doing those things, it's time to get you off that, because that's no longer needed. You're doing those things now. And I wish that I would have done that. However, my path was different, and I'm just grateful that I'm doing it now. and that I have the support in my life that I do have. That's a big thing too. The reason I feel like I haven't done this sooner or haven't wanted to do this sooner is because I never had that in my life. I never had the recovery community. And even with my mom has been like so super supportive lately, and it's amazing. Like I have a relationship with her now. I just recently had a great conversation with my son for the first time in 2 years. And we're having dinner tomorrow night, and my life is changing, and I'm so excited for it. Like, these are happy tears. Just, I've been so mad at myself for missing out on this stuff for so long, but I'm letting go of that. I'm letting go of like the anger with myself, the resentment, all those things, the shame. Like, I no longer have to carry that. I no longer have to carry that, and I no longer have to carry my Suboxones with me. I no longer have to do these things anymore because I am learning and I have the tools now to have that life that I want.
Yeah. Forgiving yourself is so powerful.
Oh, it's the biggest thing.
I remember I warred with that personally for so many years because I walked away from my kids. I walked away from my family. I walked away from life.
Yeah.
And when you come back, you realize like what you walked away from and the shame and the guilt, and it's can be overpowering.
Yeah.
And unless you have some tools to work through that and address it, and having people that you can talk through some things with is important, having that community connection.
And I almost feel like when you come back to them, those things, you almost sit on the sidelines for a minute because you're like, I don't know, you do feel like I don't deserve this. So I'll just sit out here on the outskirts of it and watch everybody else have that life.
Sure.
But you keep yourself there, and that's the thing you need to not do. You need to choose to
Engage. Put me in the game, coach.
Yeah, you have to. But it's working on yourself and your recovery and learning how to handle your emotions, getting rid of the anger, not holding on to things that your mom did to you or your dad did to you or your past traumas even. The one thing, and I'm not even sure where I heard of it, you're not responsible for what happened to you in life. But we're responsible for getting up and taking care of us. Like, I'm responsible for myself. I'm not responsible for what happened to me, but I'm responsible for getting up and having a life.
Like, what are you doing with what happened to you? Are you just going to wear it forever as a badge of honor?
And you talk about, are you sitting in that mud pit? And there's a lot of people that choose to sit in that mud pit, Robert. Like, I did it for a long time.
So
you know, like I said, I've lost siblings and a kid and my best friends, and I chose to just sit in that misery. Like, screw you, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've had to deal with.
You don't understand me.
You don't understand anything that I've dealt with, and I want to hold on to all of this. And I did. I held on to all of it.
It becomes part of your identity.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, because it's your excuse, it's your reason, it's your...
And with my brother, Brent, he was murdered. And it was a big thing around this area. Some people broke into his house. It was like a commando style, and they tied the people up, and there was a kid involved. And it was like pretty huge in this community. And everybody, just every time I've seen somebody, they're like, I'm so sorry what happened. And it was everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And then they ended up making, my mom and his girlfriend, they made a Discovery Channel did an episode on the murders and everything. And it was like, it was on when I went to rehab. I'm like, and so people like, they just always, it felt like put that identity on me also. Like, I had to carry that with me. I'm like, yes, my brother was murdered. And everyone wanted to talk about it all the time. And the guys, the court case went on for a year. So it just, and it was part of what ruined my marriage. And and maybe I held on to that too. Like, if it caused so much in my life, maybe this is who I am and my burden to bear. But my brother wouldn't want any of this for me. Like, he didn't want what happened to him, but my brother lived that life.
Sure.
He did 13 years in prison. He lived that life, and he died because of that life. And that's his to carry. That was on him. And this is for me. And I think anybody in recovery, like, we need to pull ourselves out of that mud pit, and not necessarily pull ourselves, because we have people around us. I've had a great community.
When you see the hands out, though, it's take that help. If you know you're in the mud pit and you know you're spinning your wheels and you know you're not going anywhere, and you've got community around you saying, we're here, but we're not going to jump in the pit with you, but we'll help you out. Take that hand.
And that's the huge thing. Like I was saying, I wouldn't have done this 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. The difference is I have support. I have my community. I have my parents, I have a good boss, and I have a chance at a relationship with my kid. And starting to notice all these things, absolutely, that's what is helping me through this.
And you've been transparent about
Yeah.
your journey since
absolutely.
you've gotten out of prison. So it's like everybody in all of these spaces,
Yeah.
they've followed what you're doing and what
Yeah.
you're going through, and you haven't been closed down or tight-lipped about.
No.
Yeah.
And you can't be. My sponsor gives me a little bit of a hard time because sometimes I breadcrumb her, but I like to challenge her a little bit.
Keep her guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty good at guessing though. I don't know where she gets it from. She must be going through recovery herself. Like she knows
Must be,
she knows my bullshit. But the biggest thing for me too is yes, being transparent with you guys, and not just transparent. Like I'm not talking like open about the past and this.
Sure.
It's like open about now.
Yeah.
And how I'm feeling and what I need and what I'm struggling with. That's the big part of being transparent.
Yeah.
And just saying I need somebody to talk to, or I just need to sit here. Sit with me, or I don't know what to do about this situation or that. That's the transparency.
So with Sublocade, I've heard some of the research I've done, they do a couple 300 milligrams, so you may have a few months of that. And then I've heard that there's like a taper down where they'll do like 100.
I think it's 150. I think I'm going to do the first 2 months of 300. I don't know if I want to do another 300. Excuse me, at 300 a month. I just feel like there's no sense in that. If we can get me to taper down, let's just do it.
Yeah.
The first shot, another 300 shot, and then I want to make this a 6-month thing.
Okay.
I don't want to drag it out. It was crazy because I was at the doctor's office. The one nurse had mentioned that there's a girl in it that's been doing it for 5 years, and she just doesn't want to let go of that. And I'm like, I mean,
yeah.
But therein lies, like,
The difference between sobriety and recovery.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then when the choices that you make and where you sit with it.
And I'm so happy that person is sober.
Yep.
I'm so happy that person has an opportunity to get their life together and maybe be a mom and all this other stuff and be a good daughter and all that. There has to, in my mind, what's the end goal? Like, where is there a finish line here?
Because that's
or
the
is the
thing.
finish line being stable? Because in some people, there's some people on some side of this that say stability is the goal.
Okay.
And then other people say, no, eventually you should wean off. So there's two very different sides of this, like stability and getting off of it eventually. So
I'm trying to remember if when I initially got on Suboxone was when I got out of rehab, when I was there. But initially, the whole reason for me being in them was to be clean and sober.
sure.
But when I first started, there was also that accountability.
Yeah.
And we were making a plan for what my goals were and how my life was going to go. And you had steps that you had to take. But Suboxone wasn't going to be a lifelong thing. And at one point, I can't even tell you where that happened, where it just became, I was getting it every month. And I just went in for my script and it just became, I got to go to my doctor's office. When that accountability ended, so did the planning and your counseling and what are you doing with your life and how can we get you through this?
Yeah.
What are the things that you have? What are your goals?
Because that matters. Those conversations matter. And that's what I hope that this conversation starts to bring out. We need to start having those conversations again with people because
absolutely.
I completely agree. Getting somebody stable is such a huge part of recovery. And I've done some investigation on like the brain scans of people that are on MAT.
Okay.
And it's crazy because they have the same as somebody who's sober.
Yeah.
Right? Like your brain scans are good. And so that tells me like this is putting you in a place where you have the ability now to really start doing some work. Are you being coached to do that work?
Well, and that's
are you being held accountable to do that work?
People are coaching you to get on that shot because they're saying, hey, this is better. But how is it better if you're just getting them sober?
Sure.
Because I'm going to tell you, you can be sober But if you're not doing anything, you're going to go one of two ways. You know what I mean? And a lot of that is relapse.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting what they think is promised to them about this life and recovery and this better side of it.
Sure.
Because that's why a lot of people get on the MAT, because there's a better way to live.
And it is. It's better than being out in the streets all night and buying heroin from who knows who or fentanyl from who knows who. This is way better. But is it the end goal?
Yeah. Because there's
got
to be goals.
Right.
You can't just say there's this way of living and we'll just get you sober. That's where I struggle with it, because they want you to choose this medication because it's going to help you. But you have to have something along with that.
Yeah.
The medication isn't the answer. It's not. It's medication plus something else.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's plus the support, plus the classes, plus the knowledge.
Because if you don't go to work at the original reason why you were using those drugs to begin with, if you don't heal that part of you, it doesn't matter what you get on to stabilize and what you get off, that will always be there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know somebody very close to me that has been on Suboxone for a long time. And yes, he's clean off heroin, but he's got an addiction to methamphetamines and drinks, but he won't use heroin because he's got his subs. But like I said, there's
still hurt there that's not dealt
not being
with.
addressed. He's not addressing his things.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. MAT, you've got to look at, first of all, what is your addiction? What is your drug of choice?
Sure.
Because you can't just say, okay, I'm addicted to methamphetamine, so I should get on Suboxone. That's not the answer. Maybe there is something. I think I've heard of some kind of shot, I think it might have been something used for alcohol. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, that does help people that are addicted to methamphetamine. But Suboxone's not the answer for people that have a methamphetamine addiction. It's just not. I've done it. I know. It didn't help mine. The Suboxone, the MAT, at least that side of it, needs to be addressed for people that have the opiate issues and all of that area. It can't be used as a Band-Aid for something else because it won't work.
Yeah.
It won't.
This has been informative for me. It's forced me to look into things deeper. And I love that. I love learning. I love asking questions. I said this on the first episode. It wasn't part of my recovery journey, but it definitely is part of people's recovery journey that I serve through this outreach center. And so I feel almost a responsibility to know, be a little bit more informed, because these are the people that I'm serving every day. Just you being open about your journey helps me to be able to help the next person. I know we have another participant here she's ready to come on camera because she's one step in front of you.
Yeah, I
think she's taken 2 shots now.
Yes, I think she has.
And she asked me the other day, she was like, hey, I'd love to go talk about it. I'm like, we would love to have you on. So just to show where she's at, and she's made some great strides in her recovery too.
I would like that, and maybe event at the somewhere all 3 of us could have a conversation. That would be nice.
Yeah, I would love that, because then you'd be able to just feed off of each other, talk, hey, did you experience this or whatever it is.
Yeah, that would be nice. And it's nice to see, I'm just saying, this community, people in this community are making choices for themselves and making decisions for their lives. It's so amazing to see that.
Yeah.
And to have people like you and Heidi that care about their community. You aren't just saying, oh, the doors are open and we do dinner. It's you guys care about your community. You're interested. You want to know people here.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the meetings are amazing. Meetings are good for anybody. And I'm saying that if you're in a recovery, you need your meetings.
Yeah.
You absolutely need your
meetings. You got to
meetings.
process through some of that junk. Whether it's a group meeting or one-on-one or anything like that, you got to process.
But this whole just outreach it's a different thing. It's an all pathway, every pathway, and I love it because it's not just one thing. It's anything that works for you.
Sure.
And you meet us where we're at.
And we still try to find out, what is that pathway for you?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
we just ask good questions and
Yeah, what's working, what's not.
Right.
Maybe we can help you in a different area or give you some advice, or maybe you could give us some advice. And as a community, I think we do pretty well with like just having conversations with each other.
sure.
I like that.
Conversation is where it starts.
Yeah.
And so many people are afraid to either have that conversation and just talk about what's going on here.
Yeah.
They're apprehensive. Maybe they think this person's not going to understand. I don't have to walk a mile in your shoes to be empathetic to your journey.
No.
I can care about your journey, but you've gone through things that I haven't gone through, and I can still care about you and your journey and support you in your journey. To the people that are maybe more tight-lipped or don't want to talk about their journey or are afraid to conversate with someone about their addiction or their addiction issues, substance use disorder, I just say, take a chance.
Yeah.
Find a person. You don't have to air your dirty laundry in front of a group, but find a person that you can start to unravel some of your life with, because it's in that working through that unraveling that you start to find clarity.
When you start to find yourself and build yourself, that's been a big thing for me. Like figuring out who I am, learning who I am, learning what I'm capable of, stepping out of my comfort zone and getting stronger on the inside. My self-respect, my self-esteem, my self-worth, like all of those things are just so much stronger now than they were even a year ago.
Did you ever have boundaries?
No. No.
I'm just curious because I know like you're working on,
Oh, yeah.
that's a part that you're really working on
big
hard
thing.
now. And so,
I know,
Okay.
not really. Boundaries weren't something that I really thought about, even early on in life. I don't think, and I definitely stepped all over everybody else's. I did, and I
now
never.
that you're setting them for yourself, you're realizing how you trampled on others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
And it's interesting because my family, my mom and her sisters grew up in they had a rough childhood.
Sure.
And a lot of things happened, but they never learned boundaries. They never learned communication. They never learned those things.
Yeah.
I didn't learn those things growing up. And
no fault of theirs because they weren't given the tools.
I think a lot of it comes from generations.
Sure.
Like I even noticed it on my other side of the family. They didn't have boundaries. They didn't know communication. They didn't do those things.
Yeah.
They didn't have those hard conversations growing up.
Yeah.
So for me, this is like brand new. And a lot of it at first I fought it. I did. It's just, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. That's silly. But I also, not having boundaries, I also had no idea who I was and no idea what I was capable of.
Yeah.
And it held me back from a lot of things.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries for other people, but setting boundaries for myself.
Sure.
That was the big thing I needed to learn.
Yeah. And that will help shape your identity and your confidence going forward when you know this is what's acceptable in my life and this is what's not.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's okay to have a boundary. It really is. No can be a complete sentence, like just little cliche things like that. But those things matter in recovery because it's building your life again, like from the ground up. And so you're not recovering who you used to be.
No, and
you're building this whole new life. You're discovering who you're going to be.
And a lot of people, so I've heard a lot like, God, I don't want to work. I don't want to have recovery be the rest of my life, or I don't want.
Do I gotta go sit in a meeting all the time forever?
And wait a second, what do you think recovery is?
Sure.
And a lot of people just focus on recovery from just being recovery from drugs and alcohol. I'm like, you think I sit around and think about drugs and alcohol all day long? That's not what my recovery is.
No.
I don't focus on my addiction all day long. My addiction is not what I focus on. My life is what I focus on.
Yeah.
My addiction is something that I went through. My addiction is something that I've worked on.
Yeah.
It's not something that I focus on all day long. And I think people get that confused. And especially a lot of people in early recovery get that confused where it's like, I don't want to do recovery all day.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You don't want to do recovery all day. You don't want to have a job. You don't want to go to work. You don't want to see your kids. You don't want to go buy Christmas presents. You don't want to go out to eat. You don't want to do things like that's recovery. Like, that's not, I don't sit around and be like, oh my God, I got to focus on my addiction all day long.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. To think that recovery is just going to a meeting and getting a paper signed that's like the least part of recovery.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that little action there, that's the least part of it. The decision to stop using drugs, very small part of recovery.
Very small part of it.
Very
I didn't realize
small part.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
But it's the working on everything else. I guess I do have some character defects. Oh, crap, okay, I guess I better get to
problem.
work. Yeah.
What?
Oh, I've been a part of some of the issues in my life.
Yeah.
What can I do to fix that going forward?
Absolutely. I've looked back at my past relationships and been like, man, I blame them for a lot, or he did that and he did this, and
and that's your justification.
My parents, blaming my parents for everything in my life. They were such bad parents. They had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
They did the best that they could with what they had.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And I did the best that I could with my kids with what I had. And there's just, that's all there is to it. But yeah, the whole recovering. I don't want to spend my day, I don't want to get addicted to recovery. And I would any day get addicted to recovery. Every day of my life.
So your next shot is like a month?
No, yes. My next shot is actually 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks from Thursday.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
We are going to be here again on Sunday.
Yes.
We'll do this every Sunday.
And if there's any questions anybody has, or they want to listen to you on the,
you're open for discussion.
Yeah, let them send the questions, anything.
Yeah.
If I haven't touched base on something, or anything related to recovery, or Sublocade, or Robert or I be interested in.
Appreciate it. We will be here again next week. Again, Stacy said if you have any questions or anything, we'd be happy to engage in the comment section. Also, if you know somebody that is maybe currently on Suboxone, or maybe on the shot, or on this same journey, I would love to be in touch with them. Or if you want to share this episode with them just to get their thoughts on this. Again, we are not PhDs. We are not prescribing this is what you should do. We are two people in recovery. Stacy is choosing this as her pathway in her recovery, what she feels is the next best step. While speaking with her doctor and talking about all of that with what's best for her, they came up with this plan.
Absolutely.
And I encourage you to do the same thing. If this is part of your recovery journey right now and you're feeling like you have some questions, please talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that they would be more than happy to talk through some of these things. So
yeah.
Cool. We good?
Always ask questions.
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely. Be curious about your recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
We tell people here all the time, stay teachable and be curious, right? Just ask good questions and be teachable. Be open to learning something. I have learned so much through this whole, just this process. And I know we're only 2 weeks in, but I've learned a lot just by choosing to have an open mind about it and see what can I learn, because I know there's people around me that are going through this, and at the end of the day, I want to be a good servant to them.
And I'm learning a lot about myself. It's a lot. Like I'm enjoying this. Like just the decisions that I make in my life matter.
Yeah, yeah.
And in addiction, the decisions I made in my life matter, but it was negative. This is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And I get to see the outcome of that. And I'm excited for all of it. I'm learning who I am, and this is helping me build who I am on the inside, you know.
Yeah. Cool. Until next week, stay sober. Not boring.